Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in today. Have you ever felt like you're just drifting through life, not quite becoming the person you dream of being? You know that moment. Maybe it's around New Year's when you tell yourself, this is it. I'm breaking free from my bad habits, starting all these amazing new ones, and this time it's going to be different. But then, a few weeks later, you're right back where you started, no closer to that vision you had. Sound familiar? If it does, don't worry, you're not alone. And it's not because you lack willpower or motivation. It's just that you might be going about change the wrong way. That's where Atomic Habits by James Clear comes in. This book flips the script on how we think about habits, showing us that small, consistent changes can completely transform our lives. Today, we're diving deep into its key ideas, like habit loops, dopamine spikes, and priming your environment. And I'll even share how I've been using these principles to tweak my own routines. So, grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's jump in. Imagine a plane taking off from New York, headed for Los Angeles. Just before it leaves, you tweak its trajectory by 3 degrees, about 80 inches. Doesn't sound like much, right? But if it keeps flying straight, that tiny adjustment means it lands closer to Tijuana, Mexico, than LA. That's the power of small shifts. Our habits work the same way. Little changes might not seem like much day to day, but over time, they can set you on a totally different path, good or bad. You're your habits. The power of atomic habits. So we're atomic habits. They're these tiny, almost unnoticeable adjustments to your daily routine that stack up over time and is something incredible. We often think massive success needs massive action, like some big, dramatic leap that'll impress everyone. But James Clear argues it's the small stuff, the 1% improvements that really move the needle. Let's break it down with some math. If you get 1% better every day for a year, you don't just improve a little. You end up nearly 38 times better by the end. Flip that around, and getting 1% worse each day drags you down to almost zero. It's wild how these tiny habits compound. They can work for you, building knowledge, skills, or relationships, or against you, piling on stress or negative thoughts. Here's the catch, though. Progress isn't a straight line. We expect it to be, but reality? Not so much. In the beginning, those small changes barely register. Clear calls this the valley of disappointment. You're putting in effort, but the results? Hardly visible. That's where most people give up, sliding back into old patterns. But if you stick with it, trusting that the compounding is happening under the surface, you'll eventually hit a breakthrough. Patience is everything. Goals versus systems. Now, let's talk about goals and systems. We've all set goals. Lose 10 pounds, read 20 books, save some cash. But here's the twist. Goals can let you down. Achieve one, and then what? Often, we lose steam and revert to old habits. Clear says forget obsessing over goals and focus on systems instead. Goals are the outcomes you want. Systems are the processes that get you there. Think about it. If you want to run a marathon, your goal is crossing that finish line. Your system is how you train, how often, what kind, how you recover. A good system can carry you to multiple goals, not just one. Plus, successful and unsuccessful people often have the same goals. So the goal isn't what sets winners apart. It's the system they stick to. I used to set goals like work out 3 times a week. I'd miss a day, feel guilty, and fizzle out. Then I switched to a system. Make exercise part of my morning routine. Stack it with habits I already do. Keep it simple. Now, I don't sweat the goal. I trust the system, and the results follow. The habit loop. To really get how habits work, we need to look at the habit loop. It's this cycle that makes habits stick. Cue, craving, response, reward. The cue triggers you, like your phone buzzing. The craving kicks in. You want to know who texted. The response is picking it up and the reward is satisfying that curiosity. Do this enough, and it's automatic. Take a work example. Your mind blanks out. Cue. You crave relief from the frustration, craving. You check social media, response, and you feel better, reward. Soon, that blank moment links straight to scrolling, maybe even chaining into checking Instagram, then YouTube. Before you know it, 20 minutes are gone. The more you repeat it, the stronger it gets. Cues can be anything, a sound, a place, a feeling. Spotting them is the first step to hacking the loop. The 4 laws of behavior change. Clear gives us 4 laws to shape this loop and build habits that last. Let's dive into each one. Law 1, make it obvious. First up, make it obvious. Habits run on autopilot, so you've got to spotlight the cues. One trick is the implementation intention. Say exactly when and where you'll act. Not, I'll read more, but I'll read for 15 minutes at 6 a.m. on the balcony. Clarity beats vagueness every time. Another move is habit stacking. Tie a new habit to something you already do. After I make my coffee, I'll read a page. Coffee's my trigger, and it flows naturally. You can also tweak your environment. Want to drink more water? Leave bottles where you'll see them. Want to cut junk food? Stash it out of sight. I started leaving my workout gear in the living room the night before. Bam, no excuses. Law 2, make it attractive. Next, make it attractive. We chase rewards, and dopamine, that feel-good chemical, drives it. It spikes when we anticipate something good, not just when we get it. Think about planning a vacation. The excitement builds before you even go. Temptation bundling is a game changer here. Pair something you need to do with something you love. I only listen to my favorite podcasts while working out. The anticipation of that treat pulls me through. You can also lean on groups. Want to read more? Join a book club. Social vibes make habits stickier. Reprogramming your mind helps too. Instead of I have to exercise, I tell myself, I get to build a stronger me. 4 bad habits, flip it. Make them unappealing. I remind myself social media scrolling is lazy, not rewarding. Law 3, make it easy. Law 3 is make it easy. We're wired for the path of least effort. Less friction, more action. The 2-minute rule is gold. Scale your habit down so it takes under 2 minutes. Want to run? Start by putting on your shoes. Want to read? 1 page. It's so easy you can't say no, and once you start, you often keep going. Prime your space too. I lay out my workout stuff the night before, shoes, mat, dumbbells. It's ready, so I just do it. 4 bad habits, add friction. I leave my phone in another room while working, out of sight, out of mind. Law 4, make it satisfying. Finally, make it satisfying. What feels good gets repeated. What stings gets ditched. Immediate rewards seal the deal. I track my workouts on a calendar. Crossing off days feels great, and I hate breaking the streak. After a session, I enjoy a protein smoothie, small, instant win. Accountability helps too. My partner calls me out if I'm on social media during work hours. I owe her $10 if I slip. A habit contract can formalize it. Write down your commitment and the penalty for slipping. And when you falter, because you will, don't miss twice. 1 off day is fine. 2, start a new bad habit. Last week, I didn't feel like exercising, so I stretched for 5 minutes. Kept the chain alive, and I was back at it the next day. Tying it all together. So, how have I put this into my life? I wanted consistent workouts, more reading, and less social media. For workouts, I set an intention, 6 a.m. in the living room. I moved my dumbbells out of the closet, made it attractive with podcasts, kept it easy with the 2-minute rule, just stretching it first, and tracked it for satisfaction. Reading? After coffee, I read on the balcony, started with 1 page, built to 90 minutes. Social media? I deleted apps, left my phone in a drawer, and tied a $10 penalty to slipping. It's not about overnight miracles. It's small steps, compounding over time. Focus on systems, not just goals, and shape that habit loop with these 4 laws. If you're intrigued, grab Atomic Habits. It's packed with stories and deeper strategies I couldn't fit here. Start with one tiny habit today. Read a page, do 5 push-ups, whatever's easy, and build from there. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Keep stacking those atomic habits.